The Suazo Business Center is celebrating 20 years of service of helping out Utah's underserved entrepreneurs. What a great accomplishment. Joining us now for more is Sylvia Castro and Edward Bennett. Welcome, you two.
Thank you for having us.
Well, we had to feature you for Hispanic Heritage Month. Who better to sit down with us and talk about the success of the business? Will you tell us, remind our viewers, the mission and the history of creating Suazo?
So our mission basically is economic empowerment for the minority community. And we have done it through business creation. One of the fastest ways to move people up that economic ladder is creating a business. They're able to control it. So it's actually a great history, and I'll let Edward tell it.
Yeah, jump in, Edward.
Thank you. In the mid-90s, there was a Colombian immigrant who had come to the United States to kind of flee the turmoil of Colombia in that time. And when she got here, she had lots of credentials moving into the U.S., but none of them transferred. So she was unable to actually go into the industry she was a part of. She created her own business, and it got to a point to where she needed to grow and expand and did not know how. So she found a gentleman named Pete Suazo, who was the first Latino elected to the state Senate in Utah. And Pete helped her grow and thrive her business. It was a Spanish language newspaper. And at its peak, it had a circulation of 15,000 per week. And in 1999 or 2000, she had told me she had this idea to create a center that could do what she needed done and that Pete had helped her do. And in 2001, unfortunately, Pete died in a tragic accident. So that later that year and the next year, she went through the processes to create the center. And in 2003, we started services.
Crucial to our community for folks like her and so many others. Talk a little bit about the history since then, how it's progressed, and everybody that you've been able to help.
Well, we have helped thousands and thousands of businesses. It was interesting because our footprint, we began in Salt Lake City. Our building is in Salt Lake City in the Glendale neighborhood. But we are such a unique entity. So Utah is such an entrepreneurial state, right? So there's so many different entities out there to help entrepreneurs start and grow. We're the only one that is minority owned and also minority led. When people walk through the door, people look like them. They're bilingual, trilingual, and we can talk about certain things that, in terms of the integration into the community, integration into the legal paperwork. We have had, so not only have we helped people here in Salt Lake City, we actually have a footprint throughout the state. We were able to increase that footprint, interesting enough, during COVID. And after COVID, we really saw the need for us to have more physical locations. So we began opening up new offices. So now we're up to 3 offices. We have one in Ogden and one in St. George. St. George is one of the, whenever you see the fastest growing economy anywhere, you can count that there's going to be Latinos there. Mm-hmm. So we knew we had to be there. Also, Ogden was really underserved. And we have literally, it's amazing to walk through different small businesses and see them still around, especially after COVID. That was a tough time for small businesses. Yeah. And we have held, like as you see, to me, small businesses are like the soul of a neighborhood. Mm-hmm. When you think of places, when you think everywhere you go, you don't think of Starbucks. You think of that cool coffee shop. You think of that cool bookstore. It's just the soul of, what makes up a city. And it's really cool to almost kind of go through, okay, and that was one of ours, and that was one of ours. So one of our original ones was actually Rancho Market. When she started with us, she only had 1 store. And now it's, I think, over 12 stores now. She's looking to expand and employs over almost 1,000 people. That's just one. We also have had businesses like an interpreting business. They actually started with us when they had a graphic design business, her and her husband. And from there, they're like, this graphic design thing is okay, but we can do better. They saw the need for translation and interpreting. And they started doing that for hospitals. They started doing it for different governments and different state agencies, and then took off. And now they also hire hundreds and hundreds of people. So it's fascinating because people ask us, what kind of business do you open? I'm like, we open a little bit of everything. Mm-hmm. It could literally be something as kind of a very basic, like a cleaning business, to literally a medical clinic. Construction, services, restaurants. We are able to start up those businesses, grow those businesses, and the cool thing, even though we're looking at those businesses, we also see the growth of those people. When they began sometimes they begin timid, and by the time they work with us, I always tell them that, Suazo clients for life. And when they're working with us, they know how to stand up straighter and just represent themselves in such a powerful way, and it's amazing to be part of that.
It's truly incredible what you have done for our community. This legacy is amazing, and you're so right. It's just the heart of a city and a state that you live in to be able to see the small businesses flourish. That's what I love about this job in particular, the very most, meeting those small business owners. How do people get involved?
Find us online, suazocenter.org, and we are on all social media channels.
Wonderful. Thank you both so much.
Thank you.
All right.